Hey guys, welcome back to D&D with Filthy and Friends. Continuing our playthrough. Just a quick recap of last episode. Not a whole lot happened last episode, honestly. We decided on the course of action of hugging the river as opposed to heading back to town. This is a decision of speed rather than information, so we lose some potential information about what we're encountering for the hopeful chance of getting there before too many bad things have happened to the remainder of the delegation. And we decided to head south along the river in the hopes of encountering some way to cross the river before the bridge, because the bridge is like, I think it was like 30 miles south, basically, or 20 miles south or something. So it's quite a bit of ways to travel out of our way. And we did. We encountered some dwarves on the other side fishing, who Thaddeus was able to communicate with and has requested their aid, and they have come to bring us a boat across the river, which is awesome. So I guess we're going to continue there where we left off. They are coming across the river to us right now, paddling their raft, and that's where we're at. So let's go to it.
Yeah, so you guys, you're all probably eagerly watching as these dwarves you can tell that they're being very powerful. Like, you could almost feel a sense of urgency. Like they're really trying their best to get as quickly as possible, as efficiently as possible. Did you guys go down like right to the edge, the river edge where they are, or did you sort of wait up by your sort of camp area, or how did you want to do that?
Well, I don't think we set up a camp. We were debating it, so I imagine we're probably next to the river waiting for them.
Sure. Okay, so they sort of arrive a little ways down as the current sort of pushed them, a little bit further downstream than they had intended, and they sort of start. The two of them start walking up towards you, and four of them sort of stay at the boat. As they arrive, they essentially just walk straight up to Thaddeus and just clasp him on the shoulder. Hello, friend.
In common or dwarven?
Dwarven, I guess, to start with.
Okay. Good evening, allies. It's good that you've come. Time is short.
Oh, yes, it is. We've heard all about the Mirabar delegation being missing, and, well, we may only be fishermen, but anything we can do to help, we will gladly serve and help you, sir.
Perhaps you have more information than we do. We've been chasing these scoundrels and have not managed to gain much information about what we face.
He kind of looks to his friend and then back to his other friends towards the boat and just kind of shrugs his shoulders. Well, now, laddie, I didn't say that. All I said is we can get you over the river, and we'd love to help.
Excellent. Well,
we are just simple fishermen.
Let's be on our way, then.
Adam, I assume I'm still relatively close to this area. I've traveled a little bit to kind of check out what I was...
Yeah.
Okay.
You walked off, you looked away to sort of watch north. You might have gone east a bit to do a little bit of watching over there.
Okay.
And then,
did I see anything of interest, by the way, while I was out there? So I kind of was looking around, but...
So when you were looking towards the north, there was a bright bolt of light striking the sort of western side of the hills.
Could you ping that on the map where I'd have seen it? If I can even be as accurate as that. If I can't, it's okay. I was just kind of curious.
So kind of like you'd see it in this area, I guess.
Oh, okay, across the river. I thought you meant on our side of the river. Got it.
No, because you were looking up to the north, and then it was on the western side of that part of the hills, I guess.
Okay, gotcha. Cool. All right. And some sort of, did it look natural in origin, the lightning, or did it look so some way not like, it's not like a heat lightning style lightning in the evening of a summer day?
No, it wasn't like a bolt from a storm. It looked like, you definitely know it was magical because it was going from the ground to the sky, not from the sky to the ground.
Okay. All right. Then I'll hustle back as the raft continues to approach. I'll hustle back to make sure I'm at the beach when they arrive, and So.
I'll catch the names of the two fishermen friends and say these lads have agreed to help us across. Make haste. Let's be on with it.
So they switch to common. Oh, excuse the manners, lads. I'm Babin, and that's Dabbin.
It's wonderful to meet you, gentlemen. We supremely appreciate the help.
Oh, a goblin. A nice goblin. Have you seen this, Davin? Oh, Babin, he's a strange one.
Oh, not that strange. Just your friendly neighbor.
And you're like, what is it? Is it a loot? Is that obviously on your person, or is it like in your bag? Or
definitely obvious, like on my back, probably.
Okay. You play music, lad. Play us a tune.
I'll step up as this is occurring. I'll step kind of out of the ring of light and kind of, because we don't have any. We all have night vision, so I don't think, or dark vision rather. So I don't think any of us had anything lit. So I'll kind of just come out of the shadows, a kind of large figure with a giant fucking polearm behind Sniven, and I'll say to him in Goblin, I'll say, "Are they bothering you?"
So I suppose in Goblin back. Oh no, thanks for the help though, much appreciated.
Oh, there's the fourth one, Babin. I told you I didn't miscount.
All right.
Oh, you're right, Babin. Sorry.
And then I'll just kind of stand quietly, like arms crossed, above and behind Sniven.
Oh, he's just protective, that one. Don't worry about him.
Yes, don't worry at all, Chakolth. They're here to help us across the river.
Aye, that we are.
How about our friend play a melody for us as we paddle across the river rather than standing here?
Oh, the group will love that. We love a good shanty.
Perfect.
Do you sing, little goblin?
Same thing. Oh, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
All right.
Nice.
So they'll lead you back. It's like 30 feet downstream, I guess.
So we have a problem in that we're about to abandon 4
horses.
Really nice
Fuck,
animals.
I forgot about that.
Oh, right. Shit.
So when I said raft, it was more like a boat. But like it was capable of holding like
Cargo?
a lot of people and maybe a bit of cargo, yeah. But bear in mind it's large enough that did I say 6 dwarves are carrying it. However, it appears that these must be either very strong dwarves or there's something magical about this boat that they were able to carry it because it's so large.
Well done.
It's got, there's definitely, they're encouraging you to put your horses on it. Whether you do or you don't, that's kind of at your discretion.
Sure, I'll lead my horse on.
Yep. If they're confident, I'm confident.
I trust dwarven craftsmanship in general, so if they're telling me this boat will carry horses, I believe it.
Absolutely.
All right. So we've loaded onto the boat. I believe Sniven is beginning his song, and we're preparing to cast off.
That's Fabin, Labin, Sabin, and Gabin.
Of course it is.
Welcome aboard, lads. We've got a goblin here. He sings the songs, and you hear the other 4 just go, "Hey, we love songs!" Like literally in unison, the same line all together. And you see the other 4 guys. They start doing the sails and they start helping you on with the horses, and the boat's creaking a bit and wobbling a bit, but everything seems fine.
So are these brothers or just coincidentally named? I wondered whether I could tell as a dwarf, looking at this horde of similar people.
I mean, to everyone else, every dwarf looks the same, right?
Yeah.
But to
Right,
you,
exactly.
you can absolutely tell that these are probably from a big family, all brothers,
Cousins, brothers, something.
yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Isn't like the last name like a big thing? Like sort of the clan they're from kind of a thing? So
Yeah,
would
it's Bin.
Bin.
Yeah,
I see.
Farbin, Darbin, Farbin,
Got
Larbin, Zarbin, Darbin.
Oh, this is a full name. I assumed it was okay. Surnames included in that. Got it.
So this boat is really bin laden.
Oh, wow.
Oh man, you get points for that. I don't know if it bears repeating. All right.
Sniven will happily play a song, but he's not singing.
Excellent. Is that like a performance role or something you can do?
Oh, sure, I would happily do a performance role.
Can I roll history to see if I would know the words for the song?
Oh, of course. Are you going to play as like a Sniven original, or is it like a melody of old times gone by?
Probably something that they would be familiar with.
Like
the most dwarven thing I can think of.
Misty Mountain.
Like a dwarven like marching song, perhaps, where they normally play when they're killing goblins.
No. Goblins.
Okay, so
I don't know dwarven.
No, you don't need to, because this song is so famous.
Right.
It's been converted and not converted. Was it translated? Sorry, into common, so that everybody sort of knows it. If you go to that page, Tim, that's the song he's playing.
Right. I'd like to use minor illusion to sort of demonstrate the feel of the song. Maybe not actual images, but
absolutely
lighting and sparks and
sure. Yep.
textures. And I'll join in with my voice.
I'll stand quietly scowling in the back.
I'm going to make a performance roll too.
Excellent.
Does that just give me advantage on performance, maybe instead of
maybe
as a roll?
So the tune comes out beautifully.
The tech guys just helping you with the lighting.
Everyone sort of instantly sort of perks up as they recognize the tune. Thaddeus, you feel very honored that one of your closest friends is now playing this for you, and then these new compatriots that you've just met.
That's exciting.
That's a nice scene.
Yeah. I just want to stay in this boat forever.
All right, now let's get to the side and kill the people this fire.
Oh, I thought Stephen was actually going to sing. That's why I sent him that page.
Oh.
Oh, you gave him lyrics?
I gave him a poem, yeah.
But Sniven's not actually playing the lute.
No, he is.
You want me to learn how to play a lute for our D&D session?
I think that's fair. Like, if you want to play a bard, everybody else gets to play imagination. Anyone who wants to play a bard, they need to learn an instrument and sing every single time to that instrument every time.
Under the hills, the heart of the axe arises from cinders, the still core of the fire. I'm not going to go through all her.
I was going to say, I'm already cringing. If you want to... It's very good, but I cringe a little bit.
The battlefield, come back in glory or on your shield.
And you just hear like all the dwarves like cheering, and they start singing along and joining in at the different parts.
Yeah, I just assumed the dwarves would sing.
That's beautiful.
Excellent.
So it's a beautiful song.
Like another sort of 5-10 minutes to sail across to the other side. It's a little bit slower because it's obviously more of you now. But yeah, you get to the other side perfectly fine.
Cool.
They start. They kind of almost feel like you can almost sense that they feel almost like hosts, and they're kind of just trying to help you on the horses immediately, and just trying to expedite you quickly because they understand that you're in a hurry. So like there's no real idle hands or idle chatter or small talk. They're just like immediately trying to get you guys off and help you on your way.
So, lads, can you give us any directions? Anything interesting on this side of the river that would draw our attention?
Well, there's the Feathergale Spire. That's up to your northwest near Red Larch. Red Larch is a wonderful town. I'd suggest visiting there. And if you ever want to come see us, we're down at the Barge Right Inn, just by the bridge.
So we can come visit your friends later.
I'm going to attempt to hand them a gold piece each, and see if they willingly accept that.
Yeah, they'll take that.
Absolutely.
Oh, Thaddeus, we got some gold. They all just sort of stand in this little circle, and you see a couple of them, like, where they sort of, like, when someone picks up a piece of something, they kind of bite it to make sure it's real, and they're like, "Oh, this is the real ticket. That's dinner's on us tonight." Thank you, Thaddeus.
That'll make up for the fish that you didn't catch.
Hey, that barrel's full, boy. We know our work and we do it well. Thank you for your help. Thank you for letting us help you, Thaddeus, and we hope you find the delegation and bring good tidings to the lands. We've heard bad stories. and even worse rumors of those hills. Good luck and be safe.
May your travels be swift and your fornication slight.
Slightly less swift.
Fornication's fruitful.
Slightly less swift.
Excellent.
Okay.
So they immediately get back on the boat and push themselves off, and you can hear them sort of chattering about trying to get back to fishing, and we've got to get the rest of that haul kind of thing. And they kind of just sort of start sailing away, and you see Babbin and Dabbin at the back just sort of waving you off as they sort of move into the center of the river.
Bye, Babbin and Dabbin.
Lovely, pal.
Yeah. Saved us a lot of time, too. Should we carry on tonight, or set off first thing in the
Dwarves are
morning?
amazing people. We are a wonderful species.
I make eye contact with Sniven and roll my eyes.
I don't say anything.
Sniven definitely rolls his eyes back.
Just awkward silence.
Lovely. My new friends. I love you all.
You feel almost as if Moradin just patted you on the back gently, Thaddeus, in approval.
So do we head north and try to figure out where the boat crossed? Or do we just head toward where we think the spire is? Like, do we try to pick up the trail or head where we presume they're headed?
I think
pick up the
Mechanically,
trail.
how long do we have before we're rolling for exhaustion and stuff?
Good question.
Good question.
I think we're up to sort of 10 p.m. I'd say now, or at least maybe 9:30. So
Really? They were fast. I'm surprised it's as early as that.
because I think you guys got to that part of the water at 9 after you summoned the owl. So if we add another half an hour on for all of that, that sort of brings you up to 9:30. So I think past midnight is probably when it would start happening, because you guys have usually rested.
Adam,
I
I don't want to disagree with your time sense particularly, but it feels like they would take them longer to go get the boat, row across a half-mile river, pick us up.
Oh,
row
sorry,
back
yeah,
across.
we added an hour onto that, so that would be 10:30, not 9.
Okay.
I feel like we should just rest.
Yeah, we're about to head
Slow
into
down.
potentially hostile land, so
Right.
now would be the right time to rest, I think.
Okay.
Right.
It just seems, I guess a part of me, I guess they've just pushed off. Part of me wants to travel just a little bit so it doesn't look like we're in big haste. Please drop what you're doing to bring us across the river, and then we're going to have a little campfire here. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So,
I mean, it's like probably, I don't know, half a mile to get you guys onto the peak of this hill here at the south. You could, move
Do we
down
want
there.
to? We
Go
could spend an hour going up the river looking. We're at least 8 miles
yeah,
from where the boat likely crossed.
looks like about 10.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, depending on how far south down the river it drifted as it was crossing with
Yeah.
horses and loot and knights and stuff. So we could put a half hour into northward travel before we
Sure.
call it a night.
Sure.
I don't think it makes a big difference. Sure, let's travel for like 10-15 minutes and then set up camp.
Okay.
Basically
Okay.
the same thing.
I'll get on my horse and attempt to continue moving the direction I was moving then.
All right. You guys ride with no issue, and you set up camp.
Cool. Did we ever set up like this is sort of the set, who's taking watch? Kind of
Not really, because you've kind of had weird
Honestly-
camping, like one of the first ones you did in the hills.
Right.
Tim spent hours on the top of that hill, trancing and stuff, or keeping an
We
eye out on
haven't
it.
camped
So-
since then.
so-
We just had a very long day.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Well,
Well, all of us can see in the dark, so I don't think it makes a big difference.
I'm feeling a little. I would like the deepest, darkest time of night for my watch. I guess it depends. I guess I want like third watch is what I'm getting at.
Well, although Tim does the trancing, and so if we can get a couple of watches in and then let him have a longer stretch, it means that the rest of us get good rest.
We all get good rest.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't really matter.
I
Since
guess.
you
I'll
only-
do
since you
the
only need
start
to
or the end.
Rest 6 hours.
Either way.
Yeah.
Okay, so how about, let's say,
Well, I mean,
Sniven,
I'm
Tim...
totally happy if we have. I mean, between us, then between Tim, myself, and Thaddeus, we can totally cover the watches. We don't need to put Sniven on watch. Like, I think that would be better.
just because Sniven's bad at it?
Yeah, like Sniven's a bard. He doesn't have skills in wilderness and keeping track of whatnot. I don't think we need to do that. I think we'd take those, or at least I would take that.
Okay, so basically Tim takes Sniven's watch just because Tim only needs 4 hours of sleep?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I could take first, you could take last, he could take middle.
Sure.
Can I take middle? I have to have 4 uninterrupted hours.
Oh, right. So
Traps.
anything besides middle. Why don't you take the? Why doesn't Thaddeus take first? You can and you can take last, and I'll take second.
Oh wait, sure.
Okay. All right, and I'll say something to Sniven. I'm not feeling real well, Sniven. Did dinner sit well with you? Getting a bit of indigestion or something.
Oh no, you're not dying, are you? You shouldn't die. That would be bad.
Don't worry about those bird nuggets. Those things will sit in your stomach like a rock.
That explains a lot. So you're feeling all right, Tim? You're used to this then? This is normal? The kind of heartburn / like, about to throw up kind of feeling? All right.
I don't know. I rolled a 1 on con save when I ate the raw heart and haven't heard anything about it since.
Yep. Okay.
Shouldn't have brought it up.
All right, then I won't be concerned about it. I'll just go about my business.
Actually, where exactly did Mr. Nibbles go?
Mr. Nibbles will be flying around the camp
Probably
for the
just
full
following
8 hours.
Tim, right?
No, he's doing he's hunting and looking around, and he can come back to me and
he's
tell
just
me
around
if
forever
anything
now,
happens.
isn't he? Until you dismiss him or he gets killed, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so I guess that's going to be starting our night then.
Okay. Thaddeus, you're still on watch. It's getting pretty late. Seems quite quiet and peaceful. The wind seems to be dying down and getting quieter, but that's probably because you're near a riverbank, and that doesn't seem strange to you. Everything's okay.
Okay.
Chakolth, it comes to your watch. You're patrolling around the camp, and you've got over the sort of heartburn sensation you were feeling. But as you get to the northernmost part of your ring around the camp, you can watch this surge of pain in your chest strikes you. Would crying out in pain be something your character would do?
How strong is it? Like, give me a comparison. Like, I've just been shot with an arrow, or like really strong indigestion, or
someone's inserted a hot brand onto your skin.
Would a Constitution save be applicable?
Sure. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay, to see how it affects me. Sounds good.
And then I'll go from there, I guess, and determine your reaction. Yeah, this is incredibly painful, to the point where you feel like you would scream out in pain, but you might be able to sort of hold that in because you're aware that you're camping and it's dangerous to do that.
I would attempt to hold it in, but this is clearly something above and beyond. Just unless this vulture's laid an egg in my stomach or something. So,
over 50, we'll say you do. Okay, so you scream out in pain.
Okay.
Everyone else make a perception to see if they hear that.
How does my owl make a perception?
It's the same as yours, I think.
So do I roll twice?
It's not the same as his. It has a plus to perception. It's a different stat. You have to choose, I believe.
I have to either make the owl perception or mine.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not 100% sure about that.
Let's see.
I'm not even sure what the rules are for
Well, owls have advantage on wisdom perception checks that rely on hearing or sight.
Yeah.
Their perception would be, according to this, a d20 plus 1.
Okay, so he can either roll then a d20 plus 3 or 2 d20s plus 1 and take the better of them. Okay.
Yeah.
And there might be other times where it's useful. For example, he probably has better hearing senses than you. Anyways. So.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna just make a new attack that's a d20 plus 1.
So Bereatim was already awake. Immediately hears this. Thaddeus, you are woken from your sleep to hear this. Sniven is peacefully snoring on his pillow.
Okay.
I will immediately roll out of my bedroll and run to his side.
How deep is it? Stay this constant pain? Like, am I in like serious continuing pain, or is it just a flash of it?
It lasts about, I'd say, 5 to 10 seconds. So as soon as it starts, you scream, and then maybe by the time Thaddeus gets to you, you feel like the pain has subsided. It wasn't like enough to knock you off your feet, but you may have had to like maybe lean on your leg.
Yeah, I was gonna like kneel down and clench my chest. If it's enough to make me scream, like that's pretty. Yeah. It's a pretty big deal. So I'll turn. So Thaddeus gets there, and I'll say, I'll apologize. So sorry, Thaddeus. I didn't mean to startle you. Just a sudden, intense pain in my chest. I don't think we're under attack. Maybe, I suppose it could be magical in nature, but I don't know. I just, it seems to calm down a little bit. I don't know what it is. Maybe that buzzard is, that vulture is worse than I thought.
Can I start ritual casting detect magic?
I mean,
Am I
you
there
can.
yet?
I think you can do it as soon as you've got it, right? No, yeah. Well, if you get up and run over, you'll get there.
It's a 10 minutes cast, but yeah, I'll begin.
Let's get you back to camp, friend, and see if we can figure out what's going on.
I presume that Tim would just come back to you. Sorry, come back with you to camp and then start the ritual there.
I'm going to make a gesture to get an arm under his shoulders and help out and see if he shrugs that off or...
He's a very low shoulder, so I'll kind of be like really far down on the dwarven shoulder there, but I'll attempt to accept that. Like I'm in serious pain, so.
Sure.
Okay. While I've got him that way, I'm going to steal his... No, I'm kidding. If I attempt to use lay on hands... says I can cure diseases, neutralize poisons, etc. If I start to use that, do I get an indication of whether it's effective? Like, what am I trying to say? If there's no disease, then nothing's going to happen.
I guess I can report on pain.
Poison, then... All right, well...
The other thing, well, actually, Adam, just for some clarification, where on my, is it like central chest, or like where is it that I'm feeling it?
Like here.
Okay, like, all right.
Like,
well,
but it's not like internal. It's like your skin. Like,
okay,
that's why I use the word brand.
Got it. Well, then the first thing I want to do is I want to take off I want to get back. So he helps me back to the area we're camped, and I want to try to take off my breastplate and see it. Just like I'm like, obviously my skin seems to be like on fire almost, and I'll take off my breastplate.
Yeah, so the pain is kind of as you're doing that, the pain is beginning to subside, but it's kind of like, I don't know, like really, really itchy, and yeah, you could definitely feel like a heat. Is anyone else around, or are you looking at that on your own, or how's it going?
I mean, I assume Thaddeus is still there because he just helped me, but he might be thinking about whether or not he's going to try to attempt some healing on me. So I just want to look. What do I see when I take off my chestplate? Anything?
Okay, so emblazoned kind of slightly to the left, maybe above where your heart might be, is a tattoo emblazoned into your skin. This looks like an hourglass, where the bottom half of the hourglass is filled with this sort of orange, golden looking sand that has like it's almost as if it's glistening or it's changing color as you look at it. And then the top of the hourglass is actually shattered and broken, and there seems to be like it's almost as if the tattoo is it's in motion and moving as the dust is sort of coming out of the top of this broken glass and sort of billowing away. It's kind of up towards your neckline, maybe towards your head. A little bit of it's going off towards your shoulder. Now, all of you have seen that Chakolth's character's got tattoos on, but this one's new.
So I didn't. Okay, so this one hurt. It sounds like a lot more than a standard tattoo hurts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this one. Okay, because I was gonna say, like, I don't know about falling over and screaming in pain. Okay, I will look down. I am quite surprised to see this on my chest, and I'll kind of touch it. Is it raised or branded or just like tattoo?
How gently, or like how do you
gingerly?
Just sort of go, Gingerly.
Yeah.
Okay. As your finger is like a hair's breadth away, the pain begins to shoot through you again.
I'm gonna, as I see him react to that, pump a few points of lay on hands into him and see if I can give him some relief.
Okay. The first time you do it, you feel the pain again, Filthy, in the chest.
It's the first time I reached to touch it.
No, sorry, the first time he casts the spell on you.
Okay.
And Thaddeus sort of can tell that it's not really doing anything. So as he goes to do it again, I don't know whether you would say don't do that, it hurt kind of thing, or that's kind of up to you in your reaction.
I'm not big on, I don't know a lot about healing, especially not magical healing. So I will describe what I'm experiencing as he does it, and I will tell him that, but I won't. But I'm not gonna be like, you can't hurt. A big part of healing sometimes is hurting, so I wouldn't stop him, I guess.
If he flinches away, the normal reaction to healing is not increased pain unless there's something wrong.
Then I describe that. So
I'm going to. I think I'm going to cast Divine Sense and see if that gives me any additional insight also, because that's supposed to be Celestial Fiend or Undead, including Consecrated and Desecrated, which may include some new brand, potentially.
My skin is desecrated.
So, just to answer a couple of things here. Filthy, you asked how it was. It's, so imagine it's kind of like slightly raised skin, and that skin is now like the outline of the hourglass. Even the bits that are broken are like almost like black ink, like a tattoo would sort of have as standard. But the bits inside have that coloration that keeps changing and moving. 10 minutes has now passed as well, so Tim comes out of his trance. And what is it you want to be sort of directing your detection towards, Stephen?
Okay, so the last time I cast Detect Magic around Chakolth, I saw a yellow power in his head. I want to know if this is related, if I can sense that in any way.
That aura is now all over his body.
Yeah.
Kevin, you feel the same thing you felt earlier. The celestial being, remember you felt inside the glaive? You feel a similar kind of being, either within Chakolth or maybe within this brand, or it's somewhere in his person, his aura. You don't really know. There's something, with it. There's definitely something celestial inside of him, or something of him.
Well, it looks like I don't know. You got any inklings for slaying dragons, maybe?
I seem to be a little bit more interested in the direction north for some reason. Does that count?
Well, lad, I'm afraid I brought this upon you, and I'm sorry that our paths crossed. Celestials and fiends haunt my every waking step, and I'm afraid that you've run afoul of the curse that follows me.
What curse, Thaddeus? What are you talking about?
Oh, it's an ugly and long story we'll share some other day. I'm afraid that the Celestials that are part of my destiny are now somehow imposing themselves in your fate.
When you went to heal me, could you feel anything about this? Is this a wound? Is this something that will pain me? Is this something that will slow me down?
I'm afraid it's probably the mark of the Celestial in you, and I hesitate to interpret the meaning of the lost sand from the hourglass.
Been feeling strange urges recently, strange demands on my body. You think something is inside me? Is this something you've had enough experience that you can tell me what to beware of, or just generalities like you've been expressing?
I only know that if the time comes that you must die, I will make it as painless as possible.
I actually laugh at that. I laugh out loud at that. I'm like, thank you, Thaddeus. That's very reassuring. Your bedside manner is amazing. And then...
Does any of this wake Sniven up?
I think over the course of their conversation, yeah, eventually at some point you probably get a bit restless, like, what's that noise? And then, yeah, you would wake up, I guess. In fact, as when Chakolth touches his chest, or when Thaddeus first casts the spell to help him, and he would sort of scream again in pain, I expect that's when you would wake up, because that's literally in the camp now. So,
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Right. Do I recognize the symbolism of the hourglass, like beyond it's an hourglass? Is that some school of magic or power or something that I'd recognize?
a roll
Thing, maybe.
History? Okay.
Yeah, I guess I would like to do that too.
Sure.
It's a good idea. Like, what the hell does it mean?
I'll roll on religion just for the shits and giggles of it, because as a religious man, I would try to interpret it through those means. But not on it.
And
Arcana?
It's 12.
Not on advantage.
That's just what my attempt was.
Okay.
all right, and I'll turn to Thaddeus. I'll say, but you'll hold off trying to put me down painlessly until it's necessary, right? I don't need to watch you behind me. You're not going to catch a hammer to my backside the minute I turn around here.
No, I will fight by your side and try to keep you safe until there's no other option.
All right.
Good. No killing him yet.
Right.
Thanks, Sniven. That's what I needed.
It's a bit fuzzy in your memory. You're not sure if you know that this might be a symbol of a deity or maybe some kind of organization, perhaps, but you know that hourglasses and things relating to time usually represent perhaps balance and equality and things of that kind of nature. But it's a bit strange that this one is broken and also clearly magical, because it's got this moving coloration within it, and that might be something more suggestive. And you can tell that the hourglass isn't emptying either, as if that's kind of the feeling that you would get if an hourglass was broken and it was billowing away, or at least not at a rate that you can tell readily.
Do the sands move? I got the impression that it was a moving tattoo in the sense that, like, I kind of got like Christmas lights, like, they pulse the same pattern again and again. Is this actually depleting the sand in the hourglass?
Not that you can readily see.
Okay.
But you can tell that it's almost as if it, like the way the light is moving, it's sort of traveling from the glass, the sand in the bottom of the glass up to the bits at the top. And it kind of gives you, it looks like it should be, but it doesn't seem to be.
Okay.
I guess.
So just to clarify his question, if you look at a particular bit of sand that's outside of the hourglass, for instance, does that particular bit move or just flash on and off?
It's kind of as if it's almost in a loop. Like it may start here and then like move up his shoulder and then start here and then move up his shoulder, but maybe to follow a slightly different path and then start here and maybe go to the right now. And they kind of seem to be sort of fanning out in this strange spread or wave, I guess is the best way to describe it.
Yeah, I'm kind of picturing a GIF that's like an endless loop.
Yeah,
like Christmas
but
lights.
Slightly different each time. Yeah.
Okay.
Do I know anything about making moving tattoos? Just generally?
It's a lost art.
Yeah, I guess you think that maybe someone could apply magic to do that, but that might be very wasteful.
Mm-hmm.
Is it still burning?
Good question. Am I still feeling it's burning?
It's kind of itchy. Very itchy.
Okay.
Like a heat rash, maybe.
All right. Well, I will. I'll say. Well, if you guys don't mind, maybe someone else could take the rest of my watch. I'd like to sleep on this, see how it feels in the morning, and then maybe inspect it with some direct sunlight on it.
Do you want some healing? Protection from fire? Protection from poison?
Thank you, Sniven. Thaddeus has just attempted to heal me and doesn't seem to have helped very much. Maybe the pain has gone down a little bit. It seemed to flare in the moment that he touched me, but it seems to have gone down a little bit now. Perhaps just a little bit of time.
What makes you think that this has anything to do with the North?
While we were waiting on your dwarven friends to approach, I felt an odd urge to investigate to the north. As I went up it's tough to tell sometimes. It was such a subtle nudge. It could have just been my unconscious noticing something. I might have heard a sound or seen something. But now that I add it to this, it's just another strange thing my body is doing right now. And upon heading just a little bit north and investigating, I saw magical lightning coming from the ground into the sky, off to the northwest through the hills, through the what are they called, the Somber Hills. After I saw that, the urge to move in any direction at all just wasn't there anymore. So tough to say if I caught it out of the corner of my eye and I'm imagining things, or just if this was some impulse from whatever entity is sharing my body with me at the moment. I don't know.
I wonder if this means we avoid going north in order to save your life, or whether we must press forward to the north as soon as you're able.
I am not going to live my life running from this. Whatever this is, I need to face it one way or the other.
You could certainly end up a long way south avoiding north.
I'll keep that in mind as a potential solution, Thaddeus. All right.
Okay, well, Sniven will just take the rest of his watch then, since Sniven's spare time anyways.
All right.
Sure.
I will I'm kind of a bit embarrassed or kind of off-put by the attention from everybody. I kind of like to stay to the back more, so I will kind of put my armor back on, cover up, and kind of try to get some sleep.
Okay. So who was after? So Tim's last, yeah. So you go off to sleep. As you sort of lay down, the itching sensation is still there, but it's a lot less. It seems to be slowly just sort of dying down over time.
I'm going to go over... Oh, sorry, I was going to say I'd like to go over and reassure him and say, this reminds me of the time that poor Jorik thought the cow was his sister. Of course, I had to kill him for wanting to do that to a cow or his sister. I want to make sure you know that you'll be safe, assuming this does... Jorik was a good man. He was.
I look up at Thaddeus. I have no idea how to respond to that. He starts talking about a cow and a sister and killing it, and I reach for my polearm, and then he's like, "But you're good," and I'm just so fucking confused. I just kind of nod, wide-eyed nod, and just try to keep an eye on him.
Sleep well, friend. Sleep well.
So when you go on watch without issue, everything seems fine. You go you can go back to rest, I guess, if you wish, and then Tim gets up to do the last watch again. Similar to Thaddeus, the wind is it's very sort of quiet tonight. Everything seems to be dying down, and you've got Mr. Nibbles with you to sort of help you do watch at the same time. So you guys are quite a good duo, especially having a flying companion. It's very helpful. But nothing seems out of the ordinary. During your shift, nothing, dramatic or eventful happens either.
Do I see with my Outlander Outcast knowledge, do I see any plants that could be used for an anti-itch balm or something?
Does he have explosive diarrhea from eating that?
You roll survival.
To see if you got worms from eating that raw heart.
Yep. Mr. Nibbles can see all of the ingredients you'd require, and they're probably within a couple of minutes walk from camp, and you could collect those readily, easily in the morning or whenever you needed to.
All right.
Or
I'd like to collect them
during
watch.
Yeah, exactly. As you go around, you can do that.
As I have down moments, I'll make up a soothing paste.
You've made this thing
Chakolth
many times before. It's very easy. You can even do it kind of on the move once you've got all the stuff prepared, and you can. It doesn't impede your ability to keep watch, basically.
Okay.
That was amazing. High five.
You don't know. You're asleep.
Well, it was after everyone woke up, I thought.
Well, he's on watch now, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
while I'm on watch.
Gotcha.
And then everyone wakes up.
All right. How do I feel this morning?
Heavier.
Okay.
Well, you're about to feel a lot better. I've got my secret recipe right here.
Bereatim's kosher, vegan, healing salve. Now, you just smooth this all over your chest, just rub it in a little, enjoy yourself, it feels good. And you're going to be feeling right in no time.
Is he just mixed this in his hand? Like, is it just like this gooey mess of like berries and shit he's handing me, or like?
He's
It's
made
in like a flask.
He's got this. Okay, yeah, flask is fine.
All right.
Wouldn't this be more appropriate before bed instead of right before traveling?
I'll take
It's
it.
appropriate whenever you want to go, mate.
All right, I'll take it from him. Thank you, Tim. I appreciate that. And I'll while as he's watching us do it, I'll put a bit on now, but pocket the rest of it for later. So just a little bit under the armor, just where the parts that are the most itchy are, and see if that helps.
You feel a strange cooling sensation run over your body, and the pain seems to stop.
That was really good, Tim. I'm kind of surprised. That's excellent.
It is.
Vegan, you say? Excellent. That will help. All right. So,
My god's healing powers don't work, and that slime of berries and leaves does.
You can use that bomb 5 times, so
Okay.
you have 4 charges left.
cool. I'll add it to my inventory then. Thanks.
Actually, are you willing to share the recipe?
Oh, that's a family secret, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna roll survival and see if I can figure it out.
Okay. Okay. Are you gonna? How are you gonna do that? Like, are you gonna try and take it off of Chakolth, or ask him for it, or?
I assumed that I had. Well, I guess it wasn't a sloppy mess in his hands
You've
like
kind of
we
gotta-
originally said.
Essentially, inspect it.
Okay, then.
Based on smell alone.
Or basically,
There's a little bit of pepper and nutmeg, I think. No, I guess I probably don't have the opportunity to learn. Never mind.
Okay.
No, I think you do, but I
You
feel
so
unnaturally confident that you will not work out the secret ingredient.
it's okay. So what I guess what I'll do here is,
not
because
true.
your role essentially meets his, you kind of get into a discussion where you're like, well, is it this? Because I know that this is good for this, and is it that? And this is good for this. And Tim's kind of like, well, maybe. It doesn't really give away any hints, but you kind of feel that you might have been on the right lines, but you're not really sure. Like, there's a couple of things it could be, but you know that if they're mixed wrong, it could be bad. So
I'll sort of take pity on him and accidentally let slip that one thing might work better than another.
right.
Accidentally.
All right. So I've got a vague sense with a little bit of direction.
Sure.
All right.
God, that's if we have any other itching related problems this season, we're gonna be set between the two of you.
It's amazing how often you get itches on your body, just all over, just places you wouldn't expect.
Yeah, this will help next time we're in town for sure.
Clarification: does lesser restoration also cure itching?
No, this is a unique penalty. You have to either be blessed by a god directly or this remedy.
Yeah.
Oh, some would say you have been blessed by a god directly.
I suppose if someone had been poisoned and that poison generated itchiness, then yes.
Right.
All right,
But
let's head north.
Yes. Onward.
I'm gonna keep a close eye on him as we head
Fine,
north.
I'm
And
definitely keeping a close eye on Thaddeus, and I try to keep him in front of me.
okay. So what do you? Excuse me. When you say head north, what are you doing? Are you following the river again, or are you just heading?
Yeah, we're trying to get to the opposite side of where we saw the missing party, which is
Right.
exactly where you ping us. The other side of the bank for that.
So we
Where
say
we
you
saw
got.
folks landed, basically.
Okay. Would we say everyone wakes up at 8 a.m.? Was that reasonable, or was it earlier?
Or, I guess the night's events were kind of late. Sure, let's say 8. That's fine.
Okay. So we say 8, and then you travel 1, 2, 1.5, I guess. So you travel for exactly an hour, because that's as far as you'll need to go. So that's another hour there,
Okay.
and then you guys get here. You get to the side where the riverbank is, and you can see that there were boats here, similar to when you saw them on the other side. It's very, very similar markings, and you see the very similar tracks again. So where is it? Yeah, it looks like a large group of about 30 medium humanoids wearing boots, heading sort of, I guess it would be now northwest, and also some going southwest into the hills.
Ooh, so they've split up.
It looks that way.
What is... I'd like to help. So I assume we see that. That's pretty clear in the tracks. I'll say to the group, well, one of the things we could take a look at is if the smaller group is split off from a larger group, they might be more vulnerable. We might be able to catch or capture some of them and get some information out of this. I feel like walking into 30 armed men is going to be a bit of a problem.
Can we tell if there were any like wagon tracks or anything like that? Because I assume that someone isn't just going to be carrying around a dead body.
There's
It's going to be like a coffin or
um,
something in a wagon type thing.
Still, it's got to be a huge boat to bring across a wagon, right? The horses are one thing, but
I meant that was here already that they
Oh.
put cargo into and then trucked off.
Yeah. So first of all, sorry, just to correct what I said, it's west, not southwest.
okay.
So northwest and west. No, you don't see anything like that. It's hard to distinguish that there's anything else with them because there's so many tracks. Like 30 people's worth of tracks here is kind of marring your ability to distinguish if they were carrying anything heavier or boxes or dragging anything. It just looks like, a lot of people walking, really.
I'd like to use survival to see if I can distinguish dwarven gait from bugbear gait from human gait, and see if I can get any sense what the makeup of it was of the groups that split.
Okay.
How about like roughly how many went north, or how many went west and how many went northwest?
I don't want to derail. I really don't. So let's try to make this quick. But can we get some sort of general ruling on how we aid and things like this? Because we could all either all roll survival, or we could be aiding, or how do you want to do this in general? Because
So to aid, if you roll the same check, a 10 is always an additional 1, 15 is 2, and above 15 can be up to +2, +3, +4.
Okay, so you want us all rolling then, and then those of us who are basically like we're aiding, those are the rolls we'd make. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
so,
sure. So I guess
like,
we'd take the highest number, and then everyone else would aid the highest.
Okay.
Could I just say that I think those are more like 3.5 rules, and I think 5th edition has something where it's much simpler, and that if someone's aiding, then the original person just gets advantage. Maybe we do something
Great.
along those lines, just so that it's simpler.
In fact, if there is a rule, I'll just check because
I think there
actually
is.
just made that up. So.
Okay, because I know this. Like I've seen. Like I guess I'm basing this off of like critical.
We've
Role or
had
something.
different things happen, right?
I've seen other DMs, for example, be like, "All right, if you're all wanting to make a roll, only those of you with proficiency would actually do that from character wise."
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
and then with two
Right.
of them there, like they could aid each other because that stops it. Because rolling 4 times at the same target is really really
Well,
powerful.
I guess we'll do it that way then. So if it's something like this, we'll say proficiency.
Okay.
If you're happy with that.
Okay, and then they're gonna. Because there's probably 2 of us proficient in survival here. Are they each rolling, or are they doing an aid thing with that?
Yeah. So we'll say. So what did you say? There was a rule that it gave you advantage. What would you guys prefer it that way? That the person just gets to roll 2 dice.
Well, I think the
with
reason
2
why
people,
they
that's
kind of
exactly
swap to
identical.
that is just so that it's just a simple thing instead of like the whole everyone rolling and like, okay, we'll
Sure.
add
So
like
if we just say
whatever to this roll.
if you're proficient in it, you can do it, and then it's only 2 of you rolling, so that's not as bad, right?
Okay.
That sounds good to me.
Plus, it also starts to like kind of divide up the party's roles a little bit, and people, whatever they're proficient at, will get priority on that kind of.
Yeah, and I think it stops because otherwise everyone would roll on everything. There's no reason not
Sure.
to.
Mhm.
But
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what did we say for just if one person's doing something and one person's aiding that person?
I don't think we're doing that.
I don't think we're doing that. I think we're doing everyone who's proficient may roll on it, and those who are not may not aid.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would also, I'm curious about the tracks. I'd like to also, I want to know if one set is older than the other. Like if they're made at the same time, if I can tell that at all.
And honestly, Zylo, if you think about it, with 2 people, it's exactly the same as having advantage, right? 2 rolls. So they could
Right.
you could just roleplay
Right,
that
right.
very easily as I'll go help, and that would be 2 rolls. So.
Right.
So together you can kind of tell the majority of the group went to the east.
East?
Sorry, the west.
West.
And upwards of 20, maybe more, and the rest went to the northwest.
Did they get any
And-
information about the types?
They just appear to still be, humanoids, wearing boots. You guys remember that you dug up bugbears, and it's probably most likely that it's a group of them, just from what information you'd gathered, but you don't know that for sure.
Are bugbears scary to me? Are those things I can kill?
You've dealt with them before, but very rarely, and they are.
Kind of like orcs.
They'd be tough to. They're a hobgoblin type of creature.
They're like definitely worse than like goblins, but they're very comparable to orcs. So you
So
probably
they sort of
would
like-
kill them. Some in the
Sorry, I just meant in
Stronger-
the way they looked, but they're like really, really large versions. Yeah.
Right.
I
Are they
guess
stronger,
an orc-
dumber humans? Is that how I should be thinking about them?
yes, just basically, just like an orc. Think an orc, basically combat wise.
It's a hairy, feral goblin standing 7 feet tall. They often wear armor and arm themselves with very, very sort of rudimentary gear.
And perhaps unique to this campaign, they also apparently wear dwarven boots. Because we can't tell a 7-foot-tall humanoid standing on something from a dwarven step. Must be.
Did I say there were dwarves in the party?
We assume captives, right? So the captives. I guess captives could be being carried. I was just making
Oh,
a
I
joke
see.
about
So
that.
you're assuming that they're like making the captives walk along with them, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what he was looking for. That's what he was saying earlier.
Sorry, that makes sense to me. Yeah. No, you can't find anything at all like that.
Okay.
So I guess you would presume they're being carried or in some kind of, maybe they're on the back of some
Hobgoblin,
sort of
for example.
animal, or
Okay.
Is there anything different about the trails themselves? Like, is there any distinguishing features between the west one and the northwest one? Like, is one of them heading like straight up into a mountain peak or something, and the other one's like, I don't know.
That's going to depend how far you guys follow them, really. Like, are you
Okay.
going to start following one of these trails now, or?
Do you guys share the results with us? I assume you do.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, then. Well, it seems to me that we either need to divide and conquer or take a smaller party for information anyways. I suggest the smaller trail and interrogate. Do any strong reasons not to do that?
And the smaller trail is the northwest one?
Northwest. Yeah. Oh, I mix of my west and east. Sorry.
I guess the only concern would be that in the hills we might be getting surprised going around corners and things. We'd have a bit of vision in the open ground.
Perhaps.
I think they're both in the hills. That's what I understood.
Plus,
Well,
Okay.
If
West.
they've been waiting
Well, that's
five... Go ahead, sorry.
that's like a reality clarification type thing. So is both paths lead up into the hills, right?
Yeah. So this one, I mean,
Okay.
you guys are right on the riverbank, but you can see that this one's going up like this kind of thing. Yeah, obviously following the riverbank, it's not going through the water, and then this one kind of is going like this.
So is the west?
I don't really want to
one,
give you more information until you commit
okay.
to a
So
direction.
basically,
Okay.
yeah, there's enough distance that we can't tell from where we're looking, but the one seems to be into the hills, the other seems to be, at least for the moment, west across flatter ground. Okay.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so you what you're saying is valid then.
Well, I mean, the other thing
Tim?
is we could send your bird and have a look if you're real worried about the line of sight.
The other thing to consider is that this is now 5 days since the ambush across the river, and the likelihood that anyone is laying in wait for pursuit that they don't expect to be coming because they've crossed a river and there are no boats, and seems unlikely that they're waiting for us.
Sure.
Unless it's just a normal set of guards that normally guards that pass.
Right, but if we're heading, I mean, but to be fair, that could very well be the case because we are heading into a lair of some sort potentially. So there could very well be. There could be like, you know, a hobgoblin cave or something out here, and they might have guards. So it's a fair point that we might be ambushed along the way, but I don't know if that isn't the case either route. We could be ambushed around the one to the west, anyways, too.
Well,
Let's head northwest.
Smaller group. All right, guys. But we are going to cut the part here. So thank you very much for watching. Hopefully we'll get the rest of this set of episodes kind of more uniform in length. But we had some initial setting up time that we should have taken care of now. Thank you for watching, guys. We'll see you soon.